Imagine finding a wealth building technique so simple that most people dismiss it immediately. And that's exactly why almost nobody becomes wealthy with it. The strange part? This technique has been sitting inside a best selling book for over 50 years, hiding in plain sight. It doesn't involve stocks, crypto, side hustles, or waking up at 4 a.m. to drink celery juice while listening to motivational speeches. Yet it has quietly created more millionaires than almost any financial strategy you've heard on YouTube. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why most people fail with money, even when they know exactly what to do. A few years ago, I came across a quote that stopped me in my tracks. It came from one of the most influential personal finance books ever written, The Richest Man in Babylon. Now, technically, this book is much older than 50 years. But here's what's fascinating. Most people remember the stories. Very few remember the actual wealth technique buried inside them. Because when people read finance books, they're usually looking for something exciting. The secret stock, the hidden investment, the shortcut. Instead, they find advice that sounds almost painfully boring. And that's exactly why they miss it. Think about it. If I told you I had discovered a secret investment that could potentially double your money, you'd probably keep watching. If I told you the wealth technique was basically financial vegetables, you'd probably click away. But that's a trap, because the thing that sounds boring is often the thing that actually works. And the technique hidden in this book is a perfect example. Here it is. The entire wealth technique can be summarized in one sentence. Pay yourself first. That's it. That's the secret. I know. You were expecting ancient Babylonian treasure maps. Maybe a lost formula carved into a stone tablet. Instead, it's 4 words. Pay yourself first. The idea is simple. Every time money comes in, a portion belongs to your future self before anyone else gets a claim on it. Before bills, before restaurants, before impulse. Amazon purchases that arrive 2 days later and make you wonder why you bought a banana slicer. Your future self gets paid first. In the book, the recommendation is to save at least 10% of everything you earn. Not what's left over, not whatever survives the month. 10% first, then live on the rest. And here's where it gets interesting. Because the real power isn't the amount, it's the order. Let me prove it. Imagine 2 people earn exactly the same salary. Person A saves whatever remains at the end of the month. Person B automatically saves 10% the moment they're paid. Who ends up wealthier? Almost always person B. Not because they're smarter, not because they earn more, because person A is relying on willpower. Person B is relying on a system. And systems beat willpower almost every time. Think about it. Nobody accidentally saves money. People accidentally spend it. That's a very important difference. And it's why this ancient idea is surprisingly modern. In fact, behavioral economists have spent decades confirming what this book suggested long ago. Automatic saving dramatically increases long-term wealth accumulation. The Babylonians figured out what modern science later validated. Not bad for people who didn't even have Wi-Fi. Now, here's the part nobody talks about. Most people don't fail financially because they don't know what to do. They fail because they reverse the order. They spend first, save later, and later never arrives. A raise comes in, lifestyle expands. A bonus arrives, lifestyle expands. A tax refund arrives, lifestyle expands. It's almost like our expenses are professional athletes. No matter how much income grows, expenses somehow manage to keep up. Researchers even have a name for this. Lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the biggest wealth killers in existence. The book understood this decades before the term became popular. The authors weren't saying money is complicated, they were saying humans are predictable. Give people access to money and they'll usually find a way to spend it. Which brings us to the most misunderstood part of the entire technique. Because saving money isn't actually the goal, building assets is, and that's where things get really interesting. Quick thought experiment. What would happen if somebody handed you $100,000 tomorrow? Most people think they'd be rich. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If your habits stay the same, the money usually disappears. History is full of lottery winners proving this point. The wealth technique isn't really about money. It's about identity. The habit of keeping a portion of what you earn changes how you see yourself. You stop being someone who consumes all their income. You become someone who owns part of it. And that small mental shift can completely change your financial future. Because once money starts accumulating, new opportunities appear. Investments become possible. Choices expand. Pressure decreases. That's when wealth begins to compound. Here's the part most people underestimate. Small percentages become large fortunes when given enough time, not because of magic, because of compounding, a concept so powerful that even people who understand it still tend to underestimate it. Think of compounding like rolling a snowball downhill. At first, it looks insignificant, almost embarrassing. Then suddenly, it becomes impossible to ignore. That's why wealthy people often appear to get rich slowly and then all at once. The early years are invisible, the later years are obvious, but both phases are part of the same process. The Babylonian principle works because it ensures the snowball exists in the first place. No snowball, no compounding, no wealth. It's really that simple, not easy, but simple. And there's a huge difference between those two things. So, why has this wealth technique survived for more than half a century? Actually, much longer, because human nature hasn't changed. The tools have changed, the technology has changed, the apps have changed, people haven't. We still chase shortcuts, we still look for the exciting answer, we still ignore the boring answer. Yet the boring answer keeps winning. The hidden wealth technique inside this old book isn't some secret investment strategy. It's creating a permanent gap between what you earn and what you spend, then protecting that gap long enough for compounding to do its work. Simple, uncomfortable, powerful, and maybe that's why it remains hidden. Not because people can't find it, because they don't believe something so simple could be the answer. But what if the biggest financial secret isn't something you don't know? What if it's something you've heard 100 times and never actually implemented? That's a very different question, and it might be the most valuable one you'll ask yourself this year. If you enjoyed this video, you'll love the next one. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.